Hi guys, welcome back for another one. It's another Friday, it's another dev blog, and it's another hot take, but this time I got a very special guest with me. That is PauloP13.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to talk about this dev blog for hot takes. Obviously this is a big one, a big bombshell left on Twitter, 24 hours ago, with the big, well maybe it was even longer than that, right? Because even probably 48 hours before that we got the Misty trailer, where the Adam Warlock in the background. And yesterday we got the Twitter bomb showing us the sarcophagus that Adam Warlock's in, famous from the Guardian Galaxy end scene credit, and also showing us that he was a 310 shard unlock, which pretty much hard confirmed him as legendary. And we're going to talk about his legendary unlocks and everything. As you guys know, here on this show I do not review kits in detail, but we are going to talk about some of his kit, and especially a new mechanic. First off, there was some speculation around his traits, so let's talk about those real quick. Hero, Cosmic, Mystic Support, Infinity Watch, yes, brand new team, and Legendary. Any of those traits surprised you? Anything you thought we might get that's missing? I know there were some rumors about him having a bio split tag, but nope.
Well, they have been doing a fair amount of split tags of late, but I'm honestly pretty okay with this. I'm excited to see Infinity Watch. My alliance name is literally the Infinity Watchers, and it has been for a couple of years, so pretty on brand on that end.
All right. Speaking of Infinity Watch, we do know from the Strike Time video, which you guys can see here, I did watch it. Oh, me and Paulo both watched it before we came here and recorded this. That Gamora and Nebula are getting reworks to be part of this team. They didn't mention much about Nebula, but they sure did show a lot of Gamora, including an empowered Gamora. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, quick thought on Nebula. While they were just describing, they really improved Nebula. All I could see in the video was Nebula attacking people, and it just saying resisted, resisted, resisted the entire time, and it was doing like 15,000 damage. So I'm not so sure how improved Nebula is. Watch the clip, you'll see. But Gamora, they gave her a bigger, fancier sword and a whole lot of purple things coming out, and said she's really good. And what you're seeing, it looks pretty good. So I'm excited on that end.
Yeah, and they did not go into details of who the other two characters are, but I think they're pretty much confirmed from other content creators like Tana and Valley, pretty much confirming them. Moondragon and Follow Lavelle. I'm close. I'm getting close, guys. I'm getting close. Anyways, let's talk about this new mechanic. Actually, before we get to this new mechanic, let's talk about Adam Warlock and also this Infinity Watch. Just looking at him alone, looks like another direct Black Order counter. Given his special with ability to block all enemy villain protectors for 2 turns. Does this look like another direct Black Order counter for you? I mean, this would be probably the very first team, as we've had a few characters now.
Yeah, I would say 100%. I mean, if you watch the video, they're pushing this as the first true Black Order counter. The entire video is them just fighting Black Order. Like everything was Black Order. But yeah, all the abilities, not just that one, which calls out villain protectors and then protectors. All the abilities really do work very well against Black Order. But I'm personally a little more okay with it, with Infinity Watch countering them, because that's kind of their thing, is dealing with the Infinity Gauntlet and not letting it fall into Thanos' hands. Oh. So I kind of like that. I kind of like it.
Okay. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about this brand new mechanic in the game called Safeguard, which I wish they would have put it all in caps like did these other things, because this is a brand new mechanic. I'm going to let you explain it. Go, if you want to explain what Safeguard is for anyone who hasn't seen the Strike Time video.
Right. Just for future reference, anyone from Marvel Strike Force, any of that, when you guys introduce a new mechanic, it's probably a good thing to put that in the blog post too, not just the video, but that's up to you guys, I guess. The best way I can explain it is it's kind of like immunity, but you can't take it away at all.
Yeah.
Like, it will be there until the character's next turn, no matter what. No one on the other team can take it, they can't cleanse it, they can't copy it. It is on the characters it gets applied to, and no one else.
Yeah, it was very, very, very interesting. They showed a footage, in case you guys need a visual, they showed a video footage of Surfer using his basic, which steals people's positive effects, but instead of stealing the positive effects, all he did was be able to copy them. The opponent still got to keep their positive effects. So pretty interesting mechanic. we'll see what happens over the lifetime of this one. The charge was one of those mechanics that you couldn't mess with for the longest time, and now you have Silver Surfer.
Right.
So
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
yeah,
It doesn't sound super powerful, but it sounds like it opens up a couple of doors here and there and helps against certain things.
yeah,
But yeah, again, it's new and people haven't heard of it. Don't put it into a video which only people that speak one language, because this is an international game,
yeah.
and only people that can watch the video, because we know people are reading these blog posts while at work. Just write Safeguard does this in the blog post.
And that's pretty much the college from at least that I took away from his kit. Anything else that you noticed in his kit that stood out that we might be overlooking that's different and powerful, or any thoughts?
No, it does go again. They mentioned in the video it does kind of go another revive if spawned with full health, which is just kind of getting tiring, especially with the time limit that you have on a lot of battles. It's just like everything is just being designed to be longer and longer fights, which can get tiring after a while with the short time frame.
Yeah,
And I know that's been a complaint for a long time. Hit wise, everything looks good. There's a touch of RNG in this. It sounds very powerful. Don't get me wrong, but I think people were expecting a touch more. This to me does feel very. It's going to be situational almost. Like he's going to be a very powerful character, but I don't think he's going to be like you put him in every single mode at all times, no matter what. I think he is not quite that as much. While he does, I do like the amount of control he has, which is pretty
yeah.
good. But I don't know. I think I want to see a little more about the rest of the team to really see how it's going to go. But if we're talking kit, that's kind of what I feel. I mean, I got something about the actual design they chose, but that's a different issue entirely.
And before we get off Adam Warlock and start talking about his unlock requirement, he is a cosmic character. Do you feel he is Dark Dimension essential? Yes or no? I'm putting you on the spot.
Perfect. Dark Dimension essential. No, it's not going to be essential. Here's the thing. He's a legendary. He's going to go in the legendary section.
Yeah,
Anyways, so you can't use him in the cosmic section. So it's
that's
not
true.
not going to speed that up. Um, you you have a pretty good legendary selection already. Sure, you can probably bring him and he'll probably be good. But I think I'd want to see how he does in the rest of the game because nothing. I would say he's a good choice, but essential, no. That's what I'm leaning for on that.
All right. So for those of you guys probably reading ahead, have on the screen here. So his unlock requirements are pretty weird, and it's pretty much unprecedented, and I'm going to talk about that too. It's Jubilee, a legendary, but you're going to need the 4 X Factor characters. And it just seems weird. We have 4 characters that are currently unfarmable that are going to be needed by the end of the next patch for Adam Warlock. And it seems to me 4 characters in, a little over a month time frame to become farmable. I don't know. Or is this to be the very first legendary where not all the characters are made farmable before he comes? What do you think?
Well, it wouldn't be the first.
Okay.
I think it would be the third legendary where not all the characters were farmable. I know the first one would have been Magneto back in the day.
Yeah, I wasn't around for
Um,
that.
Right. That one led to a lot of backlash, but the thing that they did was they mentioned it ahead of time. Then I can't remember. There was another legendary that happened within the last year who they didn't mention until after the blitzes that one of these characters wasn't going to be farmable until the event, and a lot of people lost it. They were not happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to be like it's going to be that situation. They're gonna have to have a blitz and announce it before that because I don't think they can handle that kind of backlash when releasing such a high-end character like Adam Warlock at this point. I think they kind of need a bit more faith with the community here. So I don't know what their plan is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little kind of a little up in air, but I think they're going to be trying different ways to get these characters to us. Maybe not farmable, maybe like event farmable, like maybe more strike time, like strike passes and
Yeah.
RTA stuff. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but I think they're going to have to do something.
Yeah. The one thing point out after like Jubilee's requirements and you talking about other requirements we've seen, lately with like Doom and stuff like that. The requirements here, no mention of red stars. Congratulations, because that's like a really sour point for the community when you put a red star requirement on things and making it on things that are more farmable, like a gear tier 12, which is a reasonable farm. The 13 and 14 maybe not so much, but sometimes they do over state the requirements and you can do it with a lot less. And the ISO levels, at least ISO, as far as the green, we're going to talk about the blue a little bit later, but the green is farmable. 5's a little difficult, but it's doable, right?
Right.
So they did a great job on the tier levels and picking the power class, and obviously trying not to make it as easy as some of the older legendaries. All right.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before we move on to the Doom Raid updates?
Again, the one thing, I think the unlock requirements are reasonable. I don't love the premise that now everything's going to have gear tier and ISO class, because one of the things that they were really open is, hey, we like giving you the chance of being a little more flexible with your characters. And that leads to more theory crafting. And they'd been going back to that lately. Like with their last two big releases of Silver Surfer and Kestrel, you don't need specific teams for them. They're going to do good in a lot of places. But now it's like, to get this, you need to build this full team to unlock Jubilee. Yeah. Then you need to build Jubilee and all of the X Factor members. If you want Adam Warlock at 7 stars, you're going to have to bring it up to tier 14 to have all of them. Tier 14, level 5 ISO. That's a lot of resources.
Yeah.
Just to have this one character at 7 stars. I'm not a big fan of them forcing people to build specific characters up to that high. Sure, getting the stars, farming them, that's one thing. But I'm not a huge fan, and I know there's a lot of other people that aren't going to love it, but at least the unlock isn't like you need tier 15 level 80, which I know some people were saying might happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people would get away without the gear tier 14, but I mean, you talk about characters, I mean, like Long Shot and Jubilee, is anyone really going to be mad if they have to gear tier 14 those two characters?
No, but the thing is, you have, like, it's not that you should.
Yeah.
You have to have the characters at tier 14 to do the mission. You can't do it. If you have your, I don't know, Polaris at tier 13 and everyone else at tier 15, you can't even enter. That's the part I don't like.
Yeah, so
not that they made it harder.
I mean, I would imagine. I mean, actually, that's pretty interesting. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I'm like reading here, trying to figure: are these requirements or are these recommendations?
These are requirements.
Oh, they are requirements.
Not recommendations, requirements. That's the issue.
Wow. Additional requirements such as wow. Oh yeah. Man. Oh. Reddit's on fire right now. I'm telling you, Reddit's on fire.
It's not a legendary, it's a mythic legendary.
Oh, man. Wow.
The only myth is people them thinking that this makes it more engaging for the player base and not more enraging.
Yeah, the gear tier 14. Because here's the thing. Here's my thing. Okay, I'm going to tell you a personal thing. I tell everyone, they ask me, like, oh, who should I build, X Factor or Astonishing X-Men? And I always say, build one of them, right? They have dual purposes, right? They can pretty much do what the other one does. Astonishing X-Men does raise the, a lot better than X Factor do, but Longshot and Shatterstar with some kind of combination with Sinister Emma, who a lot of people already built up for Dark Dimension, they make a team. And this is like, rest in peace mutant gear. I mean, if you're ever going to think about leveling up a Phoenix team or a Brotherhood team, forget about it.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I had been running like a little bit of a hybrid to try and save on some resources while I saved up gear for some other characters I need it for. So I have Polaris and Multiple Man just chilling at level 1 at like, they got tons of stars, but they just don't have any gear on them because I've been saving resources. So I guess who's going to be working on Multiple Man and Polaris without any hesitation, I guess. That's my new plan. There's the rest of the characters.
They're sitting on my roster right now at level 30 because that's where I bring up all new characters just to put them on a Blitz team.
Me.
And I don't even have Polaris unlocked yet because I haven't bought the Strike Pass and I haven't finished it yet. So I don't even have Polaris unlocked. This is. Oh, I have words for this, but I'm going to move on because I think we've been on this long enough. But that's requirements. Wow, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk
Just
about
wait till the next part for requirements.
yeah, more of it. So Doom Raid updates. Let's see how I want to talk. How we want to come out this one. Let's see. The first big updates. Yeah. So, anyways, it's getting updated. Blue ISOs is coming. That's all fine and dandy. Anyone that's been pushing for the content, you've probably getting better over it the last couple months. Anyone who hasn't got there yet, just relax, breathe. You just haven't been playing long enough to be able to beat that content. It's just a matter of your progression before you get there. So just relax. But let's talk about which part do this want to tackle first. Let's just talk about Blue ISO first. Let's talk about Blue ISO first. And so so basically, even if you only reach 30% of the Doom Raid, you're going to start earning these T2 ISO 8 credits, which, keep going here, can be used to open an ISO 8 blue class orb of your choice. So this seems like, to me, the way I'm reading it, is that this is the only way you can obtain blue ISO. And we all know you need 5 different ISOs per class, to rank up a full level. And we don't know how much this orb's going to drop. We definitely know it's not going to drop all 5 in one pop.
No.
So it's all RNG dependent. What are your initial thoughts on this?
If it's going to be just RNG dependent, they're clearly trying to make it exclusive. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You feel like this is going to be the only way to get it. I'm being a touch more optimistic, thinking maybe next week, the week after, they're going to be like, by the way, ISO campaign level 3 and 4 are coming, and that's another way to get some of this. If it's not, it's rough. It's rough. It's going to be rough until we get some more direct farmability. Straight RNG progression, which they're now making requirements for things. I know not blue ISO isn't a requirement.
Yeah,
but giving some of the other ISO class requirements that we have, it means that it's coming. We're going to eventually have blue ISO requirements. And if that's requirements on RNG, that's like, hey, in order to do this content, not clear it, to do this content, you can't be unlucky. And that means I'm never clearing that content. I'm never entering that content because I'm going to have only focus. I'm going to have focus for every class, no damage, no health, no armor, just focus. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah. So this is to me. I mean, I'm hoping you're right and you're optimistic, but to me, when I thought about this, and obviously me and you, we spoke about this right before we started recording, is it comes down to the time frame. How long is Blue ISO supposed to be our main, our top level ISO before they introduce purple? Is it a year? If it's a year, then yes, I could see a farmable system coming within the next 6 months. If it's meant to be 2 years, there's no farmable system coming, the rest of this calendar year and not coming through halfway till next year, right? Because usually they don't give us a farming method. I mean, look at Gear Tier 13 in general. I just don't see them giving us a farming way of farming this and just being all RNG dependent. I mean, what other way? I think Mr. Hartgrave's rubbing off on me, but how else do you get people to spend money on ISOs if they know they can farm it, right? They're less likely to spend money on it, maybe cores to help farm it a little faster, but you could sell a shit ton of orbs.
Yep.
So
it's true. It's true.
So, I mean, just playing devil's advocate here, like I said, I guess we'll get more information next blog because that's what they're saying. But anyway, so let's talk about the other thing I want to talk about with these blue ISOs and Doom Raids, and let's talk about requirements, is that if you were someone who's been able to do Doom Raids and you've been doing it with characters with only 4 or less green ISO in your character, got some bad news for you, because the next update, you're only going to be able to do the very first 5 nodes with characters with only 4 green ISOs. To do the entire thing, you're going to need 5. Level 5 green ISO on your characters, and that's all of them, right? That's 25 of them. You need it. Yeah. Currently, before I pass this off to you, I only have 5 characters, which is my Astonishing X-Men, are the only ones that are currently in Doom Raids. I might have a character too that I can't remember, but the only 5 that I have currently at 5 green ISO level doing Doom Raids. So I need to start farming some ISOs. So what are your thoughts? Where are you at?
Well, I'm not a fan, to be honest. I like bringing my characters. I wait when I farm up all the ISO as much as I can until I decide I really want to work on this team. Then I get that whole team to 3. And when that's and as long as that's doing good, I usually like chilling with that so that I can plan for a next team. And then when I really need to hit the next content, that's when I start doing it. There's
Yeah.
only like rare exceptions where I'm like, you know what, this character, I really want to invest in this character. I'm going to do it. So I know my entire Black Order is level 5. I think I have 2 or 3 symbiotes at tier 5. Then I have Silver Surfer and Kestrel at level 5.
Okay.
And I don't want to bring up everyone to level 5, but a lot of alliances, when they were planning for Doom raids, they're like, this left third is a joke. I'm not touching that. We're going to stay either in the middle or the middle and the right. We're going to figure out something there. Well, if you don't have enough level 5 characters in your entire alliance, well, guess what? You're going to have to figure out someone to go take that left lane now in order to get 30%.
Yeah.
Because you can only do 5 nodes with level 4.
Yeah.
And if you have level 3, well, you ain't doing anything.
Yeah, I have. So this is just brand new news. Obviously, I haven't seen the way my leadership. Are you a leader of your alliance?
I am the leader of my
Okay,
alliance, yes.
so I'll talk about mine first before I ask you. So I don't know what direction they're going to go. This is brand new news to us. Like, we're recording this right after everything came out, and so I don't know how they're going to take it because you're right, right? Everyone in your alliance needs to get there, and then this question becomes: does this cause alliances to fall apart when there's people that haven't been farming ISOs or improperly farming ISOs and are so far behind getting characters to level 5, they're holding everybody else back? So I mean, just the thought process out there. You could talk about it. So you're a leader. Your initial thoughts of how you're going to go back to your alliance and address this issue.
I'm gonna have to go and see what ISOs people already have,
Yeah.
because it's not an overnight thing where it's like, all right, now get 15 characters to level 5. That takes time.
Yeah.
Like each character to level 5 is probably over a week of farming. So this is like a time-consuming thing. I'm gonna have to talk to some of my captains saying, "Hey, can you guys like try and help me go over our thing of 24 people and figure out all of their tier 4 and tier 5 level ISO people
Yeah.
so that we can actually make proper assignments for this?" Because now it's not like, hey, this person did really good on DD4. They have Doom. We put them on the spots where Doom can go. It's like, well, they do, but do they have the ISOs in the rest of the lane, or can they just do that? Because now people aren't going where the roster is necessarily built all the way. It's like you need to have spread out ISOs, like high end ISOs, and
Yeah.
it's not great. I don't like when you have to do that because you have a lot to organize already. But you can't check the tier of ISO of anyone in your alliance in game other than by asking them.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a pain because I know that they send me a screenshot. They're going to have to send like screenshots of that, but that's about it because you can't just go in. Uh, I know when I don't feel like checking and checking with the person, I want a quicker answer. I go in like war history and I check people's rosters that way. But you can't see the ISO level like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. It's rough.
Yeah, that's gonna be something. I mean, for once, I'm glad I've hoarded ISO, like just everything. I think the only one that I really just don't have is controller, but the rest of them, I mean, I'm stacked on ions. I'm stacked in most categories. It's just the controller I'm not. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so I'm glad my situation. But then again, like I said, I have to rely on the other 23 people in my alliance. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Mhm.
And we probably have another week and a half before this patch hits. So we'll see. All right.
Right.
Let's move on to MSF API. We're not going to cover this too much. If you guys are interested in it, you just go to the dev blog. I'll try to remember to put a link to the dev blog in this video. If you guys are interested, there's the link. I highly recommend it for anyone who reaches out to content creators like myself, maybe even Paulo. I don't know if you do anything with like roster reviews. I just know people ask me about roster questions. It's a lot easier for me to just go on msf.gg, look at your roster, because I can filter for what I'm looking for, and I don't need to like scan through screenshots. So definitely a huge tool there if you're interested in being an early person to the API system. For once
Yeah, API is good.
for once they're telling you that you're in beta testing. Let's go. Character availability. So this has been data mined. I think most of the community is aware of this. It's hitting a little earlier than what I thought it was going to hit because it's actually hitting at the end of the month. So I don't know if this was a last.
Tuesday.
I don't know if this was a last minute decision to do this, but
Mhm.
in case you've been under a rock, haven't seen your favorite content creator recently, Anti-Venom will be hitting Premium Orb exclusive at a higher drop rate. Will he get the call treatment where he's still in the Mega Orbs, Ultimate Sword, Basic Orbs? I don't know. But Yo-Yo is going to the Raid store, so if you a little low in raid credits and you want some Yo-Yo, be a little careful over the next couple of days. But that's pretty much it. And then they just announced that Anti-Venom will have an upcoming Blitz. I think they did the same. Did they do the same thing for? Yeah, they did the same thing for Call, right? When Call went to the Premium Orb, they did a Blitz for him.
I think they did, if my memory is right.
Yeah, they did. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is a very up and down 3 lines. First off, Yo-Yo finally being made farmable, great. It's a little late. You're a little late on that end, but great. It's happening on a Tuesday, which you had mentioned to me. That's a little weird. Yeah. Not a Wednesday. Anti-Venom going to Premium Orb exclusives. Horrible. Horrible. You can't. They made symbiotes essential. They made them essential. Yeah. They made the choice to make them essential because they are the only team you're really getting through like bio raid nodes and such. That like you look at any guide for Doom Raid, tell me one person that says for bio use something that's not symbiotes. There isn't one. No. And if you don't have if you weren't playing when Anti-Venom was out, you have one way to get the Anti-Venom ready, and that is by spending money. So if you want to do Doom Raid and you weren't playing at the time, well, open up that wallet. Oh, but it's okay because now we gave you a Blitz. The Blitz does make it feel a little better because I know there's someone in my alliance that wasn't playing at the time, but is like 15 shards away. So I'm like, okay, now I can count on them having a full symbiote team because they have everything else built just waiting for Anti-Venom. But it's not great when they make something like a requirement to do content and then say the only way you're getting this is money.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable next year. It's
yeah. So yeah, that's a bad choice. Everyone thought that maybe Adam Warlock was going to be the bio solution, but I don't think there's going to be a single bio character in the next set. So going to be a few months. So let's move on to returning legendary. Doc Ock is back on May 31st. I know a lot of people were telling me that that it was Jubilee, and I said I kept telling them it was like Doc Ock's before Jubilee in the cadence. So it is Doc Ock. I don't know what you were thinking or what you heard. Honestly, if you were in the situation to get Doc Ock, he is a great character. I don't know. Where would you rank him in legendaries? Right now, I probably have him ranked number 1.
You have Doc Ock as number 1.
I would believe so. Over Ebony, over Black Bolt, Jubilee. The jury's still out. I don't have Jubilee ranked yet, but I don't know. I wouldn't
have him 1. I know I wouldn't have him 1.
Okay.
He's a good character. He's a very good character. Don't get me wrong on that end of the spectrum. But I definitely don't have him at 1. I mean, I could take it easy and say top 5. I definitely say top 3 is a fair place to put him. Yeah. Well, obviously, I can't include Adam Warlock because we don't know anything but his kit. Yeah. If he has like 10 health, he's going to be a garbage character. That's just how it is. Jubilee is a very good character. Ebony Maw is still a very good character.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had a pick between having Maw or having Doc Ock, I'm going to pick Maw. Okay. So for me, I think I'd have him at 3 personally, but he's elite. He's a very good character.
All right.
There's a reason why I have him at tier 15.
Yeah, he's just the only legendary that I use in like every game mode, like arena and everything. That's kind of the reason why I rank him.
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, upcoming blitzes, Monday through Wednesday. If you are, you like torture, you like, things that hurt. There's Karath. You can level on him. I don't really find him as even a needed character. He's very skippable. I know some people will hype him up for like the blaster challenge, but quite frankly, if you're a new player right now, you should have Kestrel. There's no reason to need Karath at all. Not at all. Maybe we can circle back around this after, Kestrel's moved out of the way and some new wave of new players rolled in. But honestly, even if you're a new player, I highly recommend, if you need a break from Blitz, please take the break. Any arguments with that?
No, he's a good blitz filler.
Yeah. And then following Karath on Thursday through Saturday, we are going to be getting Misty Knight. Yes, Misty Knight, not Calling Wing. I did say last week when I did my hot take video by myself. This week I have a guest, thank God. I did say they would probably end up. I did speculate they might do the Iceman Bishop thing where they alternate, and sure enough, that's what they're going to do. They're going to alternate Misty Wing and Calling Knight. So most players like myself who can't place in the top 1% and have not spent for these characters are not going to unlock them until their second pass. So it's a few more weeks out for me. But overall, do what you can, do your best. Any thoughts?
Oh, it's perfect. By the time that you have the full Heroes for Hire, all of the temporary, this counter worked in 2 wars, let's see if it continues to work, will be set. So you'll have your Heroes for Hire ready to build up and put on defense, never use again, and they're already being countered.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos out right now by other content creators of Heroes for Hire being countered. So if you could definitely get your fix if you're really curious. Let's see. Hey, did you do a video on Heroes for Hire at all? Okay. I was just curious. I was curious. Perfect time to plug if so.
Nope.
Bonus flash events. All right. So we have so first off, double drop rate for Star-Lord coming up. Some people are still really high on Star-Lord. I really don't care for Star-Lord. I haven't cared for Star-Lord in a long time. I was one of the first people to come out and say skip him, and got hate for it in YouTube comments for saying so. But honestly, when Sinister clones a Star-Lord and that Star-Lord is better than the legendary Star-Lord, there's something wrong with Star-Lord. I'm going to say it.
I love Star-Lord. I do. He's not needed. There's still some cool uses. He can still be a pain in the butt when he's on an enemy team in some raids and some high-end content. He is a lot better than Iron Man. So when everyone was saying they should just make him that type of legendary right after Iron Man, I'm like, there's other worse ones first. Give him a bit more, but you don't need him. You don't need him for anything, unfortunately.
His focus,
I still love him.
His focus sucks. His focus is his focus is even at. So a clone Star-Lord actually has 50% better focus than a Star-Lord. Those blinds with the regular Star-Lord don't stick. Sinister clone, they stick. It's very bad. Yeah. They should really do. I mean, they should really do something about their legendaries. But we'll move on from that. Let's talk about Chaos Theory hitting the last Friday of the month and not the first Friday of the month. That is a weird change. Any thoughts what you might think is going on there? Or I know you said something earlier what you think they should do with this event, and maybe you could talk about that also.
Yeah, what I said they should do is add more to it, where you get more resources at this point, because we could use them. Honestly, there's not quite enough in there, but I think it's kind of a little confusing. A lot of the dates that they're giving, they're giving us specific dates, don't line up with what we know. Yeah. For instance, they're making a character farmable on a Tuesday instead of Wednesday, which they said they're going to do on Wednesdays. The first Friday of every month, I believe, is when Chaos Theory is.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the first, unless the 28th is the first Friday we've had. I mean, so again, it's like a week difference. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The thing I don't like is them just changing things just to see if we'll notice or not, because they said this is how it's going to be until we tell you otherwise. They haven't told us otherwise, but this is clearly not the same stuff. So just tell us what's going on.
Easy enough, Scopely. Yeah. Let's do it. All right, so that is everything in this blog. Any final thoughts?
Why does Adam Warlock have those eyebrows? I literally spent the entire time of just listening and just on Google trying to find a single picture where he had those kind of eyebrows. Yeah. And I found nothing. So what's with the eyebrows, Copley? Something you know?
They took some liberties with his character design. All right.
That's my thought. Those eyebrows.
All right, that's going to do it for us, guys. If you want to check out PauloP13, he has YouTube, and his Twitch link will be down in the video description of this video. Please go give him a check out. A really great guy, a guy that's really helped me in my early days of, you know, content creation and stuff like that. Recently put together a fundraiser for a very good guy behind the scenes, Strider. If you guys caught that that days-long event over on Twitch, yes, give Paulo a follow. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.